Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Michael King, back again with another video. So, today's video, I'm going to be analyzing the GBPUSD, and the intent of this video is to show you guys what to expect in GBPUSD this week. That is, this week trading week from Monday to Friday. What should be the possible outcome for GBPUSD? What should we be looking out for? So, for me to start that analysis, I would like to start all the way from the bigger time frame because top-down analysis is key. So now this is the monthly time frame. So I want to show you guys what the big guys are doing. So now looking at this right here on the monthly time frame, overall is bearish, right? Because if you look at this price, price broke this low right here and went lower, then price went up to this level right here. But let me zoom the chart a little bit so you can see it clearly. So when price went all the way down here, price went all the way up here, and we had a fair value gap here. So I will just quickly highlight it so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a fair value gap right here. So this fair value gap, price eventually traded into it, as you can see. So price had to go all the way up so it can get to this fair value gap, and now this fair value gap is likely to push price lower. But if you look at what is happening currently on the monthly time frame, look at what happened now for the month of October. This was the candle right here. We had 3 consecutive bearish candle, but the reason why price went all the way up right here because of what can you see? We have a fair value gap. So I predicted from my previous videos that price is going to trade up to fill this fair value gap we had here, and that is exactly what price is doing. Now if you look carefully, see that price have traded into it. So I like you to see price start heading lower. So for you to have like an in-depth understanding of what is happening right here, we have to go down to the lower time frame. But before I do that, I would just like to draw a line. So this line will stand as the fair value gap on the monthly time frame. So let me quickly just work on the line a little bit so that it will be accurate. So now once I'm done plotting this line right now, we'll start all the way from going to the weekly time frame so that you can look at what is happening on this area right now. So I'm going to draw the second line at the high right here, so that we're going to have 2 lines, and in between the 2 lines is the fair value gap on the monthly time frame. So now look at this right here. Look at what price is doing right here. This is the upper line of fair value gap, and this is the lower line of the fair value gap. Now if you look carefully, price traded into it. So now let's start all the way from the weekly time frame so you can see what is happening. So now this is price right here. Price traded all the way down. This was the 3 consecutive candle, but it's broken down on the weekly time. So we had this powerful energetic move. What caused this powerful candle on the weekly time was because of the NFP that was released. So the NFP came out as bullish, so it's pushed the USD up here. But now since we're having this candle right here for last week, I expect price to start trading lower. But price might still want to go a little bit higher. But nonetheless, I expect price to go all the way down because of the fact that we have a fair value gap here. I want to maybe go up the way to this point right here to test this level. That is the upper part of the fair value gap before I start going down. But nonetheless, this level we are seeing here is going to push price down. So you can say that overall, we are expecting a bearish pattern, a continuation bearish pattern on GBPUSD. So now, having this understanding on what the bigger time frame is doing, so now let's now walk all the way down to the hourly time frame, or we can even start from the daily time frame so that we can have an idea of how we can trade this coming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So now this is the daily time frame right now. I'm going to decrease the chart a little bit so we can have a wider view. Now if you look at what is happening, or let me increase this back. Now this was the points. This was the NFP release news that pushed price to the fair value gap. Now we had a reversal candle here, and if you look carefully, we had a fair value gap here. So let me quickly just draw a rectangle. Yes. So if you look carefully, you can see that we had a fair value gap right at this point. So what do you see? Price traded into it and price started heading lower. But if you look at what we're having right now, we're having this bullish candle. So now this candle might be misleading. You might think that okay, price wants to start heading higher, but actually it might not really want to head higher. It might just want to go all the way up to this cap right here, then price might start heading lower. If you look carefully, we have a fair value gap right here. It's not really big, but it can still stand as what we can use to reject price to start heading lower. So now if you look carefully, one of the reasons we're having this bullish candle was when price traded into this fair value gap here. It might be the possible reason for we having this bullish candle, but nonetheless, price might be rejected here, and we might see price start heading lower. But one thing I want you to understand is that we also have another fair value gap here, which can push price a little bit higher. We also have another fair value gap right at this point here. Right, so price hasn't get into it yet, so we might expect price to head a little bit higher, then price to trade lower. Then this level right here might push price a little bit higher for price to keep heading lower, or price just ignore this gap and just keep going down, depending on what their algorithm wants to deliver. But it is the 1 hour time frame we are going to work on, so that we can have an idea of, okay, what are we expecting for GBPUSD. Now if you look carefully, this was the fair value gap that we had on the daily time frame. I'm talking about this right here, this fair value gap here. So if you look at what happened, price traded into it at this point here. At this point here, price traded into it and price started lower. So it means we are done with this fair value gap. So now let's look at this. Now this fair value gap was the one I pointed out from the daily time frame. That is the one that this tiny fair value gap we had here. This tiny fair value gap. That is what I'm trying to point out now. So let me just quickly adjust it a little bit. Okay. Tiny fair value gap now is our major concern right now. So if you look at what is going to happen now, I expect price to trade a little bit into the fair value gap and maybe trade the way up to this point here. Now this one I expect price to go a little bit higher to this period right here, because of we also have some fair value gaps on the hourly time frame. So what I expect price to do on Monday is I expect price to go all the way up to fill these fair value gaps that we have here. So the moment price fill this fair value gap here, then I expect price to start going lower. So if you look carefully, we also have another fair value gap right at this point. It's not a kind of tiny fair value gap here. So what I expect price to do is I expect price to trade all the way up to this region right here, then price will start heading lower. But if you look at the 15 minutes time frame, we also have other blocks that will stand as areas to reject price to push price lower. So now looking at GBUSD overall on the hourly time frame, this is my prediction for GBUSD. So I actually expect price to go all the way up to this point right here. Let me bring out my arrow. So I expect price to trade all the way to all these fair value gaps right here. Then once price is there, then I expect price to trade lower. I expect price to trade lower all the way to the fair value gap that we have on the daily time frame. So this fair value gap on the daily time frame, I'm talking about this fair value gap here. It might stand as area to push price. This fair value gap here, it might want to push price a little bit. So this price will go all the way up to this level right here. Then price will head lower to this fair value gap right here, which might push price a little bit higher. It might push price all the way to retest this monthly fair value gap again. I don't know, but we have to observe. Or it might just up a little bit and price will keep on heading lower. Or also this fair value gap that have once been used serve as the area to push price lower. Because if you look at the 4 hour time frame, look carefully at the 4 hour time frame, you will realize that there are some fair value gaps on the 4 hour time frame that hasn't been filled. We have one right here which hasn't been filled. We have a fair value gap right here that hasn't been filled. We also have one right here and it hasn't been filled. So we also have these two fair value gaps that, okay, the daily fair value gap might want to push price to for price to start heading lower. So that being said, that will be all for the GBPUSD analysis. If you do enjoy, please hit that like button, so share to your friends. hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.